evening, good morning. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day and getting ready for the weekend. So I just want to say thank you guys for the support on the channel. A bunch of new subscribers. Appreciate you guys, and I really appreciate the people on the existing subscribers that have been around for some time now. And I'm kind of sporadic here or there on the animals, so maybe you guys really don't know what I have, or you're curious on what I do own. And so on this episode, we're just going to talk about what's in the 70-30. It's not completely filled up. I think I have like 3 or 4 slots open, which should be filled up within the next 6 months on a couple of the ball pythons that are still very young. They're eating fantastic. When I feel that they can eat regularly in a bigger area, then I'll swap them from their smaller containers over to the 70-30. So this will be kind of like a reptile snake tour type of a thing, but we're only going to talk about what's in here, and maybe on another video later on we can sweep the room and we can see what else I have. The bigger boas, the other pythons and stuff like that, which I think a lot of you guys like to see. I guess I'll also talk about who I buy the snakes from, if you guys are curious on the main people who I really invest my money into, because I do like quality animals, and I like knowing when I buy an animal from somebody, I'm not going to get ripped off. It's not a scam. I'm not going to get a sick animal, and I know this animal should thrive and it should do very well as a breeder. But again, a lot of things happen when an animal comes into a different environment, and the keeper changes some stuff up, and snakes do get sick. Snakes do have issues. I've had my fair share of losses. I've had my fair share of sick animals that have bounced back, which is really nice to be able to say that. So if you guys have anything that you want to see in particular, or topic, or specific snake, let me know on that. So this is going to be kind of a long video, and I know a lot of people don't really go through the entire video. You can break it up or however you want to do it, but hopefully you guys like some of the snakes that are in here, and if you do like them, let me know what your favorite is. So again, I know I'm taking up too much of your time right now. Let's just see some animals, and then we can talk about some of this stuff as we're going through here. So the very first snake that I would have showed you up here is a male albino ball python. I have a female albino ball python, and they look the exact same. So I'll just show you the female later on, because the male is in shed. It doesn't look very good. So I think I only have her and the Guyana, which are in shed. I'll show you the Guyana, not too long. So we'll just stay on the tripod for just a little bit, and then once I get down to the easier levels, then I'll show you guys what's really going on. So this is my third snake that I have ever bought. About, I would say, 6 years ago. I've been in the reptile community. Before that, I've never owned reptiles at all. So I randomly went into a PetSmart just because I was bored, and because it was right next. I think I was buying some at Best Buy, and they're right next to each other. And they had a California king snake that was like 50% off, so I bought it. And that really got me into getting the snakes. And unfortunately, the king snake died of unknown causes a couple months ago, unfortunately. So this is my second ball python. We'll see the first one here in a little bit. So it's just a regular male pied, which he's a little bit dirty, but he does look very well. And he eats fantastic. So again, I got him at PetSmart. Not saying that you'll find the greatest stuff at PetSmart, but I have gotten 3 snakes from PetSmart. My first 3 snakes that I ever owned, because I didn't know about Morph Market. I didn't know that there were actual breeders out there. And the king snake lasted, quite some time. And then the 2 other ball pythons, which is my other one right here, they're doing very well. So this is a female pastel. Very first ball python, the second snake, and I think I bought all 3 of these snakes within like a month of each other, just because I liked really owning snakes. And then obviously 7 years later I have like 40, so everything snowballed very quickly, and I've gotten into some bigger, and I wouldn't necessarily say better things, but definitely some bigger species of snakes, which is perfectly fine. So I'm not saying PetSmart's a bad place to go. Some people hate it, but it's all, it's all relative. So I know probably already some people are already hating that this isn't that I do have a 70-30, so keeping my snakes in prison cells, and these are too small for animals and stuff like that. But I will agree that some tubs are not appropriate for snakes, depending on the size. I do see people, mostly breeders, which is fine. I don't hate on anybody and I don't judge anybody. They do keep snakes like this in a very thin tub where they can barely even turn around. But I think the 70-30 is a perfect size for adult ball pythons and grow up boas. Boas do get very large, so if you get a 70-30 for boas, that's probably a waste of money, because unless you have males, breeder males, I would say, because the females will outgrow them within a couple of years. So this is a super anchy, and it is I always forget what this one is. Orange ghost, the orange ghost. I always get confused because I want to say desert ghost, and I know it's not a desert ghost, but this girl is fantastic. I love the colorations on her. I love the orange and the browns and then the whites down the side. Just a very, very beautiful snake. So I understand people are, get on here and they bash. They say that it's unethical, it's inhumane, and it's cruel to keep snakes in here and stuff like that, which in a way I can agree with that, but in a way I have found that ball pythons do amazing in small areas. It's easy to clean, it's easy to maintain the humidity, it's easy to maintain the heat. And so that's why I like it. But that's just me personally, and everybody has their opinion, and that's all it is, just an opinion. Unfortunately, this girl right here is in shed, so she's not looking as fantastic as she normally would be. But this is it's a fire, yellow belly, inchy pipe. So very excited about her as she grows up. And I got this girl from Justin Kabolka. Alright, so I totally forgot who I bought the Orange Ghost Super Entry from, and I need to remember that because I bought a few other from the same person. So it is Outback Reptiles. I've heard some good or bad things on the internet from them. I bought 3 snakes from them at one time back in 2020, and I haven't had any issues from them. They eat every week, they're growing very well, and if I'd had to buy from them again, I definitely would. They're great customer service from when I bought from them. I don't know if they're still around, but somebody that you guys can look into that has a lot of snakes. So this girl right here is a Superfly, and it is a clown. So it's the Fire Super Pastel. And I know a lot of you guys do like seeing her. Love the colors. I like the yellow. I like the whites and then the markings on her. It's a fantastic snake. And this one was produced by John Chosmer, and I do have quite a few snakes from him. Not just in the 70-30, but I do have a lot of other boas from him because he lives right down the road from me. I get all my rats from him, and so I consistently see him. And it's nice having a good breeder down the road that has high quality. So if you guys are interested in good snakes, customer service, animals that eat every single week, have 0 issues at all, I would highly look into John Chosmer, and he basically gets all my money because sometimes before stuff even hits Morph Market, I'll throw him an offer, and then I can buy a snake from him, which is really cool. So this this male right here is also from Outback Reptiles. It is a banana clown and doing very well. So we'll see what happens this year with him, getting very big. And I definitely could have gotten him up to breeder size in a year, but I don't have anything to breed, so I really didn't want to pump him full of food for really no reason when I didn't have to. So I think after this shelf right here, we can probably go off camera, but this might just be a little bit easier to show you guys how stuff works. So this is the Guyana Redtail. I got her quite a while ago at A-List Animals, which is another place local to Cincinnati, and they do a lot of it's bad to say flipping because there's so many people that give that name, but a sour name, but they do sell snakes for other breeders, I would say. So they get snakes in from other breeders, good breeders, and they're healthy, they're well maintained, and then they ship them off like that. So they really don't breed a lot of their own, which is perfectly fine if you can find a good flipper that actually takes care of their animals, because there's a lot of people out there that are dirty. They get sick snakes, they sell them very quickly, and they only have it in their care for like very soon, and they really don't know what's going on with them. But this girl is in shed, and she does look fantastic. Beautiful, bright red tail on her, even in shed. So a lot of you guys know that I constantly change stuff up with the bedding. Right now I'm using Aspen. It is a kiln-dried professional Aspen, and a lot of high breeders do use this, and so I'm going to trust them, and they like it, so I'm gonna use it as well. So I like ReptiChip, Aspen. It all dries out after a couple of months anyways, or a couple of weeks, so you have to spray it. A lot of people say Aspen is very dry. It can be, but if you spray it down, you won't have any issues. Does it mold? I really haven't noticed that very much on kiln drying Aspen, but if you leave it in here with like urine and stuff like that for too long, I think the urine spots would mold naturally. So spot cleaning is here or there on it, and I really like using paper towels and construction paper because you can really see where the mess is. So if you like spot clean in here, you could miss some stuff, and you got poop in here for like a couple of days extra or a week, and you really don't know it. The only thing that I don't like about the construction paper is the snakes go under it, and then when they poop under it, especially on the heat panels that are on these rack systems, and the room is like 86 degrees anyway, so it dries very fast, and then it sticks to the bottom of these bins. It's a mess. So if they can poop in the bedding where it kind of soaks it up a little bit, it's very easy, much easier to clean. So I found that I was saving money with the construction paper, but I was spending more time scraping poop out of this stuff than what I wanted to do. So $20 for a bag of 8 cubic feet, which ReptiChip is $20 to $30 with 2 cubic feet. I think I'm going to go with this one for as of right now, again, because I've used this in the past with no issues. Anyways, that's just another taste. I know. We want to see snakes. So this is yeah, I already told you where I got that one at. So this is a Moon Glow. So it is the Anery and Hypo and Albino. Beautiful snake. I got this one from Ken. I can't even think of his last name, but I'll put it on the list. I don't have his card. Ken Masick. There it is. Ken Masick. He has phenomenal boas. Been around for a very long time, and I would definitely buy from him again. A lot of his snakes are on the higher end. A lot of his boas, a lot of IMG stuff, a lot of mixed IMG stuff, a lot of mixed Moonglow stuff. So stuff is pretty pricey over there. I really haven't noticed anything like most breeders where it's kind of like where they fluctuate from the high end down to the low end, and nothing wrong with low end, because we all I mean, there's some very, and you'll see over here that I like, there's some beautiful snakes that are under $500. So Moonglow, phenomenal animal. A lot of you guys like her, so you get to see her again. And this girl right here is from John Chosmer. It's a Jungle Hypo Pastel, and I do love the coloration on her tail and down her body. So really nice stripes on her. You can tell she is a jungle. Gorgeous animal, great eater. She sheds consistently, but she's really not growing very fast. So I don't know what the deal is. She just could be weird metabolism or something, because it's interesting on a lot of these snakes where you can get the same snake basically born at the same time or around the same time, and one snake will explode in size, and then another snake will just not, and they eat the same, and one will look like a baby for forever. So this is probably one of I have a lot of favorites. So one of my favorite non-pied, non-clowns that is less than $500. This is the Mystic Potion. So it's a female. I do have a male. The male is not in this rack as of yet. So just a really nice animal, and really nice patterns on her. A lot of nice purples, grays, and a really nice head coloring on her. So she really doesn't like to be held, obviously. But I have noticed after I've been getting a lot more ball pythons that they are pretty active. And it's interesting because I was always not a fan of ball pythons. I love boas, I always will. But just something clicked, and I'm kind of starting to like ball pythons just a little bit more. So hopefully the lighting is working out for these. It's always hard because so many different colorations on these animals, and it just gets a little bit hard to get the right angle on the lighting. So here we go on a boa, which I know a lot of you guys would rather see than the ball python. So this is a IMG VPI from Chi-Town Constrictors, and he has quality animals. It's been around for quite a while, and I think a lot of people do recognize that name. And look at the belly on that, black with a lot of white on her. And I do have her sister that we will see here very soon, but just a really gorgeous animal. And funny story about this is John Chosmer has one. He did not want to sell it to me, and I wanted it, so I was like, all right, fine, I'll go ahead and I'll find the next one. And I'll have to say that even though this girl looks phenomenal, John Chosmer has some that are beyond ridiculous. So really nice tail on her. She's gotten extremely dark since I've gotten her. She's a 2021, which is crazy because I mean I have 2019 to 2020s that are half the size of her. So she's going to be a monster when she gets, in just a couple of years she's going to look really good. So again, I think this is going to be her final coloration. She might get a little bit darker, but I've seen some adults, the tail stays a little bit red because of the albinoism mixed with that with the IMG. It just works so perfectly. And then obviously everybody's mixing a ton of stuff with them, which makes them even better. So I got this girl right here from A-List as well. It's a Suriname Redtail. She's been packing on some pounds and some size here in the last like 6 months. And I have been bulking her up because she definitely needs some food in her. So gorgeous animal, true Redtail, just like the Guyana. Really nice. Very red tail, not as red as the Guyana, but very. She's gone through a lot, and she's a fighter and she's a warrior. So I'm glad she's around. I'm glad she's healthy, even though we've gone through some pains together. But she's doing well. So we will look at, and as we go down the list, we really can't see what's going on because you're on a tripod, and I think you guys would rather appreciate the tripod rather than me shaking the camera around and doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So the tubs, they all look the same. I mean, there's really nothing in there. But this is from Justin Kabolka. It is the Orange Dream Leopard and Enchi Pied. It's tough to remember all this stuff. And I don't even have that many snakes. But gorgeous male and eating phenomenally, even in the 70-30, but very gorgeous snake. And I really hope I can breed him to one of my pieds this year, which we'll look at soon. You can do everything right on the human aspect of it. It's up to the animals if they even want to breed or produce good eggs. I see people have phenomenal animals and they get slugs and eggs. Stuff happens in an incubator. So I got that one from Justin Kabolka. And then I got this one from John Chosmer. It's a snow, so it's just like the moon glow. So it's the anery and the albino. It just does not have the hypo in it. But the colorations will change as he grows up compared to the moon glow. They get very yellow with white bands and a white, the patterns on the tail stay white, whereas the moon glow stayed a little bit more whitey, I guess. Which is interesting that the snow doesn't stay white; it gets yellow. Who knows how people name this stuff? But another beautiful snake, and I do believe John has more moon glows and snows on his website, reasonably priced as well. So moving on down to another John Chosmer, which again I can't say enough about the quality of his animals and how he takes care of them, and just, you know, the colorations and the patterns and how well they eat. I mean, I've gotten snakes from John and on my choice where, well, it was just one over here. It's a female banana clown, and like a week out of the egg, it didn't even have its first shed. It didn't even have its first meal. I said, I want to try to get this thing to eat just to see if I can. If it doesn't eat, I'll let you have it back just to get it to eat, and then you can give it back to me after it has a couple meals. It shed out. Its first meal was a wrap up. Instantly ate it. So that's how you know that you have a good animal right there. So VPI Jungle, gorgeous animal. I have a lot of females, which is good on the bows because it does take 4 or 5 years for them to grow up to breed. So you definitely want to get the females first. I have a lot of female ball pythons. So, I mean, look at the pattern on her. And then the tail is just phenomenal on the orange or the red, whichever coloration you want to see it as with the VPI. But I cannot wait for her to grow up and do some big things. So I'm a little nervous about this girl right here, and I'm sure if you've been around the channel. So again, no hook with her. My bond with her is becoming greater and greater every time that we meet each other, and she will take a snap at me if I like move my, so she's starting to hiss. So this girl is hit or miss. It's the sister to the VPI MG. This one is from Tri-Tail Constrictors. It's a VPI Aztec, there we go, female, another female, beautiful girl, and I got her maybe 7-8 months ago, and she literally hated me, still does, and she would hiss at me, she still kind of does, and she would bite at me, snap at me, and I had to wear gloves and use a snake hook. But if I can get her at the right time, I don't need a snake hook right now, and you can see that she is allowing me to hold on to her. So it's very nice to be able to bond with an animal as nice and as beautiful as she is. And it's just wild because her sister has really no temperament unless she's in shed, no temperament. And then this girl right here, out of the same, you know, the same birthing, literally wanted me dead consistently. So we'll put her back, and she's not wanting to go back, which is a little interesting. So this girl right here is just a regular pied. Got her from John Chosmer, and very high white. I love high white pieds if there's not much going on with them. Like the Orange Dream, if there's a lot of cool stuff going on with them, I definitely want a medium to a lower white just so I can actually see what's going on with them. So there's really no possibles or probable stuff going on with her. So this is the girl that will probably go with the Orange Dream leopard, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I only have 2 options, so maybe I'll do a combo thing and throw both males and switch it up, so then I won't even know what's happening until it's time for the eggs to come out. So this girl right here is from, it's a black pastel, and when I got her, she was pure white on the body, and then she randomly started getting these black dots everywhere. And I got her from Palumbo, Dave Palumbo. And I do have another black pastel that's not in the rack, who looks just like her without the black spots, from John Chosmer. So I'm really curious if it's a black pastel thing to get these black spots as they grow up. But beautiful girl, and I don't know, I could put her to the Orange Dream pied, but I do have a male mahogany pied, which possibly will work out as well. So I have a Super Mojave right here from John Chosmer, and this girl is growing up very well. So this is the Bell Complex. Some people still consider these as a blue-eyed Lucy. She's not pure white with the blue eyes, but she does have blue eyes, but she's in the same allele or complex or however you want to describe it. But I think I like these ones a little bit better. The lighting's not the greatest on her, so I'll move that down. Because she is white, she has a really nice gray head, and then she has a very beautiful, like a yellowy tint down the back of her spine, which is kind of difficult for me to see on the screen. Maybe it comes up better as you guys are watching this. So it does have some color and some contrast, other than just a pure white snake, which I know a lot of people do like that, and I do as well. But it's just nice to see some animals with some coloration on them. So all of these girls are getting big. They're 2020s, and should be ready by the end of this year, because most of these girls are hitting almost 700 grams, and we're at the beginning of the year. So 8 months, 9 months, 10 months from now, they can easily pack on another 300 grams. Now that they're eating small, pretty large meals. So I got this girl from A-List Animals. This is the albino, and I got the male as a pair from A-List. I bought them both together. Again, I don't know actually who produced them, but they were just sold from A-List, so I have no idea who the actual producer is. But if you've seen one, you've seen pretty much them all, since they basically look the same. But I love albino ball pythons. They probably have to be the prettiest albino snake out there. Much better than the albino berms. Much better than the albino boa, which I have one. And the boas fade out completely. Very, very bad. They lose their pattern. They lose the coloration. But I noticed with the ball pythons, she's growing up, and you can see how bright she is. You can see the bright whites. The patterns on her look phenomenal. So that's why I really do like the albino ball pythons more than the other albinos. So another girl from Outback Reptiles. This is a butter clown, or a lesser clown. The butters and the lessers appear to be the exact same thing from what I'm told. People still call them and sell them as a butter or a lesser, and it's just strange because the pricing on them are different as well. So a butter clown could be more than a lesser clown, and they're literally the exact same. Kind of like the coral glow in the banana. I think the coral glow is a little bit more. They're the same thing, it just sounds fancier, I guess. But this girl has a little heart on her head. I love the colorations and the patterns on her. Beautiful yellows and the whites and the browns. It looks like somebody poured like a liquid down her, and it just is dripping down the sides of her body, which is really cool looking. Kind of green eyes. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But we're almost done. We just have 2 more. So if you're still hanging out with me and the snakes, let me know which one is your favorite so far. And then I got this girl from Mike Wilbanks, who everybody probably knows about him. High quality, lots of great animals. This is a fire and she clown. Cannot wait until she gets older and try to put a clown to her. But phenomenal looking snake. Beautiful colors. Really nice patterns on her. And then the last one is, again, from Outback Reptile. So I haven't had any issues with them. So this is just a pastel clown. And I've noticed that pastels, when they get older, they fade out and they dull out quite a bit. So she was very bright as a baby. That's why I think a lot of people like pastel stuff. And then there's a lot of people that hate the pastel stuff. So it's either 50-50. And I think a lot of people don't like the pastels because when they start mixing stuff together, it kind of blends it out. And as it gets older, it kind of fades the colors of whatever it was mixed into. But all ball pythons will fade out on colorations and fade out on a lot of the patterns, unless you put enhancing genes in them. I'm sure there's more, but I do know that the fire helps keep it brighter and the pattern just a little bit better. So I'm trying to learn all these morphsters. It's crazy on how many they are, and I'm trying to learn ball pythons, boas, the berm stuff, and it's just crazy to keep up with so much stuff. What's an enhancer? and then you know, what works, what doesn't, what's a deadly combo, and all this stuff. So that is it, guys. Yeah, that's it on the 7030, and you know, there's probably another 20 snakes in the room. So we'll check them out later. Appreciate the support on the channel. If you guys watched all this, I know it's a super long video, and I do apologize for that. I've been trying to cut down the videos a lot lately just because, you know, the view time's not really there. And I know I'm not the most exciting person. I'm really just doing this not for me. I'm just doing this to show you guys the animals and the snakes that I have, and to help people get into the hobby and let people know that what's out there. Hopefully you guys get some good information on how I keep them and how I feed them and interact with them, and you guys enjoy that. But I really like showing you guys just what I have, and hopefully you guys can buy some of these and enjoy them as much as I do. Or if you're thinking about getting into snakes, they're easy enough to take care of, and you can get some phenomenal animals from great breeders who will work with you, who will give you quality animals and healthy animals. That's the most important thing. So guys, I appreciate it. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next video.